Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. Hey, in this video, the gameplay you'll see is my last match of comp today. Started out really rough. I was getting farmed, and then turning things around, had some good coordination with my teammates, and we all put up some good numbers to clutch out the win against a solid team. You'll notice that I swap off a sniper pretty early in the match, since this is control and Solitude is a shotgun heavy map. Now, while that gameplay rolls, I wanted to chat a bit about comp. Now that I've grinded a lot of it and I've had a pretty good handle on how the playlist plays out and what the trends are. So some of this may sound more negative than positive, so I just wanted to reinforce from the beginning that I think it is fantastic that we have a competitive ranked playlist. I think we've needed this for a long time. Last season was a little bit rocky, but it was definitely a great thing at the end of the day. That we had it, and we had the Claymore to chase. And this season is definitely an improvement from last season. I mean, we've got more dynamic gameplay, less slow-paced, campy strats. There are more people playing it, and we're seeing new subclasses rise to the top. And the Luna's Howl quest has already proven to be a worthy feat. That many Guardians are working towards daily. But I definitely think that this isn't all that Destiny Ranked could look like, and I hope that we continue to refine it and help it grow into its best form one day. But the goal of this video isn't to make wishes for future development or suggestions for future development, but to focus specifically on what we've got in front of us right now and what you can expect going into it. So number one thing you can expect in the current state of the competitive ranked playlist is shotguns, and lots of them. Shotguns account for more player eliminations than any other weapon type in the game, including primaries, specials, and heavies. So if your shotgunning game is weak, then you're most likely going to need to practice up, or you're going to struggle at the high end of the ranks, unless you've got some really solid, shotgunning teammates who can carry you in the close quarters fight. So, I find myself sniping often in comp, but my primary role is to get a pick so that my teammates can push in with numbers, and then I follow them with my primary out to support the 4v3 charge. I do really like using snipers in comp, and most of the day today I was rocking one, had some really nice plays, had some really good synergy, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't an uphill battle. The reality is that the ammo economy, player movement, map design, and the competitive game modes themselves all work together to encourage shotgun usage. And I think it's fantastic that shotguns can be used in their current capacity. I really do. But I do wish that snipers had higher base handling, lower incoming flinch, and had the capacity to one-shot roaming supers with high impact to the head. But right now, the risk and reward is better with a shotgun than any other special weapon type. So, if fusions were more consistent and snipers had some of the changes I previously mentioned, then, I think we could have a real strong presence in the competitive playlist, these other special weapons. And I think that it would create some pressure for players when they're picking their loadouts to weigh the benefits of each type of special. You may even see more diversity in team composition, which we haven't really seen a lot of diversity in team composition yet when it comes to the competitive playlist, and we still don't. It's very one note. The best things are the best, and everything else is just everything else. So anyone running off of those things can be considered kind of hipster for doing so, you know what I mean? And to the point where if you play anything else and you're streaming it, I see this in I watch comp streams from other players all the time, and I stream comp sometimes. I see this all the time where people just say, they just type one thing in chat, put on a shotgun. Like, if you're losing, or you lost, or you're not playing well, or you're on the bottom of your leaderboard, they always type the same thing in chat, put a shotgun on. And they, in a sense, they're kind of right. That if that's the best thing, that's the best thing. There's the thing I'm trying to get at here is there's just not a lot of pressure on the player to really weigh risk and reward and make a choice about diversifying, about having team composition that looks a little bit different, to play to the strengths of various subclasses and weapon types. And that's a very big part of competitive gaming across other games. Think of something like Overwatch. I know that Overwatch is not Destiny. They're not the same type of game. They weren't designed to be the same type of game. I know they're drastically different, but I'm just thinking about comp specifically. In a game like Overwatch, there's a lot of diversity. There's still a comp meta, but in that comp meta, you have to have team composition. And, There's no duplicates, you know, and I don't know. I think it would be really cool if Destiny was kind of like that in a sense, where you had to really strategize as a team to make good composition. I think we've made great strides in that direction when it comes to PvE right now, especially when we look at raid teams and how they spec, and you know how many players are on Hunter, and you know you got to have 1 or 2 that are doing tethers, especially a Shuro Chi, and then you need a Hammer Titan, because it's really important to have that you know, the Hammer Strike. I'm sorry, I brain farted here. It's really important to have that Hammer Strike, that melting point, you know. But you know, you also need to have a Well of Radiance for the DPS. I mean, it's just in the raid you have that diversity. You have that. Okay, I need to pick what my role is going to be. Comp doesn't really reflect that same dynamic, and I wish that it did. So number two thing that you can expect to see with the current state of comp is a heavy hunter presence. There's a lot more diversity at Fabled and below, but once you get past that hump, you're going to start seeing 3 to 4 hunters on each team, and that's because hunters have excellent supers for comp, you know, specifically Blade Barrage and Arc Strider. So on top of those supers, hunters also have the best mobility for shotgunning. So as long as shotgunning is top tier, hunters will also be quite popular because of the in-air directional movement and control and exceptional movement for 1v1s. On PC, you'll also encounter a fair amount of skating titans as well. On the top end of that skill gap in the comp playlist, you'll start to see some seasoned skaters flying around the map with their shotties out, so prepare your booty for it. But you know, again, the majority of players, especially on console, will stick to hunter subclasses once you get above Fabled. So it really is, it's the fact that if shotguns are on top, then hunters are the best shotgunning class in the game because of their mobility options and 1v1 potential, then those two things are just going to go together. So you're gonna run into a lot of hunters because of it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's great that hunters are powerful, but again, my preference would be to see a little more diversity across the board than we currently do. So the number 3 thing you can expect to see in the current state of comp is an exceptional amount of heavy ammo kills. Most likely these will be heavy in the Wardcliff coil department. There is a lot of heavy ammo in comp. Most game modes will toss out more heavy ammo than a white middle-aged couple will give out toothpaste to kids on Halloween. The main objective in comp generally ends up being control the power. No matter what game mode you're playing, the main objective kind of turns into control the power. Power ammo is so important to winning matches, and teams that lock it down almost always win. So the last thing that you'll see a lot of in comp currently is super mods. Many people will stack super mods on their armor to dramatically increase the rate at which they generate super energy. They can generally have 3 supers to anyone else's 2 supers if they're just running a standard loadout without super mod stacked. And supers win games. I mean, that's a big deal. So be prepared to deal with supers, and lots of them. And shut down supers and suppressor grenades, I mean, they really don't compete like I'd like them to, since most people are running things like Blade Barrage anyway, which is very difficult to predict, to suppress, and really tough to drop a Nova Warp blast on, unless that person just downright chokes their super. So there you have it. Those are the 4 things that, you know, the current state of comp, these are the 4 things that you're going to see a lot of. And just be prepared for that going into it, especially as you get past that Fabled hump and you start making that push to Mythic and to Legend. So eventually, especially in that Mythic to Legend section, it's like all this stuff. I mean, that's all you're going to see, game after game after game after game after game. So just be prepared for it. Prepare your psyche for it, so that you don't go into it with a salty attitude, because it's easy to do if you start seeing this stuff over and over and over again. Be like, oh, all I died to was heavy. Oh, all I died to is shotguns. Oh, stupid hunters. Just get your mind in the right place going into it. Expect it so that you don't tilt yourself, because you got to stay even keeled, make your call outs, and make sure that you're playing to the best of your ability. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. Maybe prepare you a little bit for the upper end of comp. And let me know what you think about the comp playlist, how you're feeling about it, what your experience has been like. Are you predominantly playing solo? Are you predominantly playing with a team? You know, what's your favorite part of comp? What's your biggest beef with comp? You know, I love to see these things. It's great to give feedback. This is how we refine the experience. And I welcome the comments that I'll read in the comment section below. So thank you so much for tuning in, for watching, y'all. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.
It's game. It's extra game.
I missed. Dude, how many times did they shoot this guy, man?
Heck yeah, gentlemen. That was a fun match.
Dude, nice Nova Warp TV. That was actually crazy.
Thank you, thank you.
At clutch time. Played really good, dude. I roped in.
You guys farmed in this match.
Nah, dude,
GG.
no, I did not, man. I was...
Guys, that's gonna have to be the last one for me. I got a jet.
Alright, brother. We'll link up next Tuesday again.
Let's do it. Yeah.